glad you brought up, because I was going to transition us into this next, just the last 3 games and sort of what has happened with the statistical regression that you mentioned. A lot of is being made about blueprints from the Tennessee game. And I thought it was really interesting when I went back to watch that Tennessee game, because that was the blueprint game, right? So I went back there to see what the Patriots might do to slow down Allen, and I was pleasantly surprised that he actually played pretty well in that game. It really wasn't his fault, as you mentioned, but there is sort of this blueprint out there now of playing too high coverages against Allen, forcing him to beat you by death by 1,000 paper cuts instead of just that one big play over the top to John Brown or Stephon Diggs. And his statistics against too high shells is definitely worse than what it is against like Cover1 or Cover3. So what have you seen with him against those types of looks? And, is that what you would say has been the biggest problem for him over the last 3 games?
For sure. And I think that the first 4 games made sense too, because if you were coming up last year and you were saying, hey, he's the worst deep passer in the NFL statistically, we'll dare you to beat us deep and we'll just run good man coverage underneath and dare you to beat us over top. And he did. And he did again. And he did again. And then eventually teams are like, all right, we got it. Now we're going to take that away from you. Do you have the discipline and the consistent discipline to just take what the defense has given you and not force it into coverage? And I think you've seen it progressively. He still wanted it against the Titans, and he forced a couple balls in there. You saw a little bit less against that in Kansas City. You saw none of it against the Jets. It was frustrating to not put it in the end zone. He never put one out into dangerous coverage deep. I think that's going to be the real balance. And are they able to now be consistent enough underneath to force teams to maybe come up a little bit? And now you're not going to get as many deep shots as you did the first 4 games, but maybe you get a couple, and can you hit on one of them now to be able to do that? So I'm still, it's very much in Josh's nature to want to take the ball down the field, to want to take those deep shots, to show off what is, potentially the most powerful right shoulder on earth. To be able to do that, I understand wanting to do those things, but so far he's shown a willingness to hit Cole Beasley on those little bubble screens, to hit guys on those crossers, to hit more of the running backs out of the backfield. I think the more he can mix that in, the better chance he has to open up those deeper shots. And we, as Bills fans, we just have to hope he has the discipline to stick with it. And that, especially when they get behind, he wants to be the reason they come back and win. He's going to put himself out there to be able to do that. And it's going to be tough any other way.